Hello and welcome to episode 68 of Into the Podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and I'm joined each and every week by the bearded, bushy, beautiful bastard Sam. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, Sam. That was good.
Thanks. That was so weird.
That was good. I think we should start getting you opening this podcast more.
Really?
Yeah, it was good, that.
I don't know.
You projected well.
I was just trying to...
There was a lot of energy as well in it.
I was trying my best to replicate you, you know. You've set a tone for...
I think, because I've been doing it so much, I feel I come in quite robotic now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how it feels to me. But you brought a new energy in then.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, you know, I was just... maybe you might feel robotic, but I feel the energy coming off you every week.
Good.
Don't know if I'll be able to do that again, though.
We'll try it, but this is an episode that we will get into, but it's an episode that you brought to the table.
Yeah,
so
it is.
So you're going to take the lead on it. You're going to intro it. You're going to outro it. We've got a special guest with Josh and Culinary Corner this week. So, because he's sat over there and he's clearly made something for dinner that he hates.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
let's get Josh on onto the mic and let him tell everyone how he can't cook.
Yeah. You up for that, Josh?
No.
We've been trying for so long for Culinary Corner to take effect.
We will get him, mate.
It's not worked. So, how are you, mate? How was things?
Yeah, things are all right, you know, mate. No speeding fines.
That's good.
I'm completely off the booze now.
Wow.
I've not been taking speed to try and get to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are just nice and chill, mate. Just
nice.
A nice zone 2 life at the moment.
That's a massive improvement on last week.
Yeah, I really hope nothing happens in the upcoming. Can you imagine? Because we've obviously recorded this straight after the last episode.
Yeah.
And in that week, something like my whole family drowns.
I mean,
or gets hit by a blimp. And I'm just like, yeah, it's been the best week of my life.
Honestly, those blimps are fucking treacherous.
In Lincoln.
That'd be awful.
It would be awful, wouldn't it?
But fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
I might just cover all bases, so I'll try now. Yeah, things are really good at the minute, mate. Quite zen. Things are horrific. Terrible things have happened, but, you know, amazing things have happened. Bases covered.
Perfect. We can edit that out accordingly.
Exactly. Yeah. How are you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. No blimp-related deaths either, I think.
Host
touch
Ryan.
wood.
Not co-host.
Host and co-host. Feels weird being on this side of the table,
we should have swapped.
Even though it's the exact same side I always sit on.
I can't wait for you to edit this.
What do you do? Just mash a load of buttons and then click go.
Did you click the record button?
No.
Nah, shit. Well, we're talking to ourselves. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's what
we
we
can
do
say
anyway.
whatever we want now.
Yeah. Because otherwise we're really restrained.
Really restrained. And, you know, we talk utter sense normally.
Yeah.
So let's just talk bollocks.
Fine. Yeah. What bollocks do you want to chat?
We could talk about bollocks if you want.
Yeah.
They dangle, didn't they? They're a thing.
Yeah. I've got a question for you. What's more boring? A paper cut or a boiled sweet?
More boring.
Was it boring? Yeah.
What's more? Oh God. I think a boiled sweet is probably more boring than a paper cut. I know which one I would rather not have. I would rather not have a paper cut, but then I also don't want a boiled sweet. How shit does a boiled sweet sound?
Awful. I've never been a big fan of boiled sweets.
Didn't that all come from when Thomas got us boiled sweets?
I think so, yes.
He brought us some really nice boiled sweets and was just like, it's fine.
It's fine.
But I can't get over the name boiled sweets. It's like, could
boiled
you
sweets
imagine?
from Germany, weren't they?
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, going to an old people's home with your boombox and they've just got boiled goose on the table or something?
Hey, nice little Lonely Island reference there.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah, lovely. Right, so we've got a jam-packed episode this week.
We actually have. We've prepped something.
We've actually prepped. We've got a theme.
Well, we haven't prepped. We have a theme. Sorry.
Yeah. Luckily, we've watched a lot of films already that fit into this theme.
Yeah.
So we're all right. So we've only got one segment.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do it straight away.
Let's get it
out the way, straight away. No messing. We're getting in, and that gives us the rest of the time to chat the theme /bollocks.
Amazing. So I'm assuming this segment is the Eliminator Part 2, right?
Yes. So we're bringing in the Eliminator, and
I don't want to do that again.
Oh, God, that was long.
So long.
That was long, wasn't it? We did way too many films.
Yeah, we can do that again now. We have a social media manager because the ball ache for me was the fucking having to put it all out and remember what was what.
Yeah, that's true.
Megan, do the eliminator.
And I'm sure Megan will do something really creative and cool and like posters and all sorts, whereas we just sort of like just shout it out each week.
Yeah, just shouted words.
Yeah, never mind.
Anyway,
let's do Snack of the Week.
Let's do it.
Let's get our little boy Drew in.
Sing us in, Drew.
Sing us in, no, you could change it.
Oh, you're not trying to be me anymore?
No, I'm bringing my own take to it.
All right, sorry, go again.
Drew, do the jingle.
Here come Sam and Ryan, listen to them both speak. They've come 2 hours all with their pop culture critique. But are you even a nerd if you don't overread? So come on everybody, it's the Snack of the Week.
Lovely, thank you, Drew. As always, check out his music on all the music places, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music.
You're already winning at this.
YouTube.
I never do this. Technically, Drew was our first sponsor.
He was, yeah.
And I never advertise his music anymore.
Well, you know, we fall into routine, don't we?
And we big him up all the time.
We do.
We love Drew. So.
He gets mentioned every week, to be fair, doesn't he? So it's not like we ever forget him.
We don't forget him.
But check out his music. And maybe go check out one of his shows now that he's back in England.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot, isn't he?
He's doing a lot. You quite see him with his regular spot at the Hops and Cheese.
The Hops and Cheese. I really want a place called the Hops and Cheese in my local area. Just sounds banging, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Moff down cheese.
Down cheese or down hops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Down hops to see our Drew.
Yeah.
Oh,
our boy Drew.
Boy.
Yeah. So, Snack of the Week. What have we got this week, Sam?
Oh, interesting. Oh, this is weird. So, Ryan, host Ryan, it might be new information to everyone, but we have a manager called Megan, and she buys us snacks. So, just like last week when she brought us them below average pepperoni pizza combo stuffed snacks, not her fault they were below average. It was a good punt. If anything, top tier idea.
Yes.
Just didn't hit the mark, unfortunately, with flavour. She also brought us something else. Now, she mentioned these to me a fair few weeks ago, and I said that I'd seen them and just not got around to buying them because they do these in a few flavours. But she got us Aero melts, so just little pods of Aero chocolate. But these are Neapolitan ice cream flavour. So you know the Neapolitan ice cream that has the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate?
I do, yeah.
3 things?
Yep.
So that flavoured Aero bites.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Know your servings, though, because 12 of these is 1 serving, and 1 serving does have 10% of your fats, 21% of your saturates, and 6% of your sugars.
Okay.
So if you're going to
we
have
need to be
12,
mindful.
That's what you're going to have.
But if you've not had any of your saturates, then you can have more than 12.
You can if you want, you know.
Yeah, just to push the boat out.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like Neapolitan ice cream?
You know what? So as a kid, I'd love it. The problem is, you get to it, and like all the good. So there'd be no chocolate left, no strawberry left, and the shit vanilla just in the middle.
Yeah,
Do you know
interesting.
What I mean?
Yeah,
But I have started buying for Littlin. It's like 2 wafers with the Neapolitan ice cream in it, so covered in chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just nice and cheap from like Aldi. And I bought them for it. I was like, probably not my bag because it's cheap ice cream as well. Add one, mate. Ooh-wee. Oh, good. Oh, dear.
Good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Really?
Really enjoyed it. So, and you know, I'm an ice cream / ice lolly fan. We discussed this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, are you? Is the question.
What, a Neapolitan fan? I can take it or leave it. I'm not a huge ice cream fan. And even as a kid, I don't think Neapolitan was my go-to.
No.
I mean, you'd have it because obviously if you get served ice cream as a kid, you're having it.
Ice cream's ice cream, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't remember it being a staple in my household.
No.
Not that I can remember anyway.
Should we do one of each flavour and then one all 3 together?
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Are they? I assume they're different colours.
I mean, yeah, of course they are, yeah. So I'm going to do this. So I've got 2 of them, and 2 of them.
Right, okay. They are all different colours.
Yeah, so we can have one of each flavour, and then we'll do a big gob of all 3.
Okay, bite through it just to, like you would with your Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Right, what are you starting with then? So these are basically like chocolate buttons, aren't they?
Yeah.
Big chocolate Aero buttons.
Like the Aero ones you can already buy. I think you can get the like caramel ones, can't you? The Aero caramel flavoured ones,
Yeah.
which are nice.
Yeah.
But mate, it's your episode.
All right.
You can pick the order.
Okay, well, we'll start with your least favourite. Get out of the way first.
Like your style.
We'll go vanilla, shall we?
Yeah.
Chin chin.
Chin chin.
That tastes just like Neapolitan ice
It
cream.
literally tastes like vanilla ice cream.
That's so
That
weird.
is odd. Okay.
I feel like it expanded the button. I feel like there's only a little button and I bit into it and it got bigger.
like a sponge.
Like my mouth filled with ice cream. That was weird. Tastes good though.
Yeah.
We'll go strawberry next, shall
Strawberry
we?
next.
I don't feel like the straight flavour was as strong as the vanilla.
No, it wasn't. It's there.
There, it's a bit more subtle than the vanilla. But then maybe we've not had a palate cleanser
That's the problem.
in between each round.
Have a
Oh,
little sip of water.
some water.
Okay.
Go with the chocolate.
Oh,
then.
it's chocolate. I mean, just like an Aero.
Yeah. What was your favourite?
The vanilla.
The vanilla's the best one.
Yeah.
There's a turnout for the books.
Innit? But then again, maybe it's because it was covered in all the other flavours. But we
Yeah,
don't know. But that's
we
the
don't
good
know.
thing about it.
Yeah, well, I do feel like they're all slightly,
Covered in the other flavours.
yeah, because they're going to be because they're all rolling around in the same bag.
So cleanse up palate
What, with plain water?
with plain water.
I don't think that's how palate cleansers work.
I've actually got summer fruits in there, so
Well, that's different.
okay.
Right, we're doing all three in one. A little
3 in 1.
Is there a specific order that they need to be in?
What have you got in? You've gone.
What
chocolate,
order were
white,
they in
pink.
the tub?
It was vanilla was always in the middle.
Vanilla's always in the middle, was it? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what we'll have to do. I'll go in pink, white, brown.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Mm.
It's shocking how much that tastes like Neapolitan ice cream.
It's unreal, isn't it?
That's so weird.
Mm.
They're good.
They are very good. Josh, do you want some Neapolitan ice cream?
Whilst you do culinary corner.
Yeah. Why should we tell everyone how shit you did to us?
I enjoyed them a lot.
Their vanillas are good. I had another vanilla.
Vanilla the best one? Yeah, I think so. So your least favourite ice cream flavour is the best Aero button flavour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it was good that. Thanks,
So-
Megan. Where are you rating it? Where's it going in the
question,
tier
innit?
system? Top tier. Love that. I'd have that again. If I'd have to, the worst.
I'm going, love that.
Really? Yeah. So tier 2.
Tier 2, only because they were banging.
Yeah.
Like, literally banging. Love chocolate, love ice cream. So chocolate taste of ice cream, obviously.
Yeah.
A little bit too sweet for me.
I
think
agree.
them-
I
them
agree.
flavours. So I sat here yesterday, literally, whilst we were playing Helldivers, with a tub of Maltesers and Munchies and shit. There's just loads of like bags of chocolate that have half been eaten.
Yeah.
I just pour them into a big tub and just become a bit of a snack pot. And I ate a lot of chocolate, and it wasn't as sickly as that. But I think
Yeah.
that's because there was a strawberry flavour, vanilla flavour in there as well.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like if that was a bag of plain Aero melts, they
They'd
would
go
all be
on.
gone.
Yeah.
I would just be munching on them constantly. But yeah, they are very sweet,
Yeah.
very sickly.
I couldn't mix that into my mix box either, because it'd make everything else taste of strawberry and vanilla.
Yeah, they're quite powerful
They are a powerful flavour.
flavours.
So that's more. So love it. Just
Yeah.
not top tier for me, just because of how sickly they are, and they could potentially ruin other chocolate it comes in contact with.
Yep.
Contaminate with the flavour, which is fine. But sometimes if I'm going to do it, I want to go, oh, I'll have a munchie now. Oh, actually, I'll have a Malteser. Differentiate, which you can't do, I think, if they were in the tub.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree with the rationale. Let's keep it at love that tier 2.
Because I did love that.
I did.
And I was very surprised.
Yeah, I was impressed by that actually.
Yeah. It's very rare that we get surprised by foods. And there's been many a snack of the week that we've had that has promised us a surprise. Haven't there? And it's like shockingly whatever or whatever.
Yeah.
And we've not been that shocked.
That's it. They're promising these big flavours and then don't often deliver.
Did they promise us anything on this? I don't think they did.
No, they just said Neapolitan flavour.
Yeah, literally just gave us exactly
What we asked
it was
for.
on the box. Yeah.
So Well done, Arrow.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. Well done. Well done. It's perfect to share with others, with a movie, or as a treat.
I agree with all those statements.
I do as well. Well done. Yeah, happy with that. Thank you, Megan,
Yes,
once again.
thank you.
For being you. Everyone, round of applause for Megan in your own home.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone else wants to donate snacks, then please get in touch with Megan on the socials and she'll sort out an address for you to send them to.
Get Megan to send her address out to people. We're going to have to get her a PO box, aren't we?
Yeah. I didn't say it had to be Megan's address.
It does though, right?
Yeah, because how much is a PO box going to cost?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Megan could pay for it if she don't want people to have her address.
Yeah, fair.
Oh god, the episode that we get her on is going to be awful, isn't it? She's going to fucking destroy us. 'Cause every week we get together and we just promise the world to people from Megan.
I know.
So when she comes on, I think she might hit us. I'm not going to lie.
A lot, yeah. And it's deserved.
It's deserved.
It's
I think
absolutely
she just
deserved.
hasn't done it yet because she wants people to hear us cry. If she does it at work, no one will see it.
Yeah, she needs that recording, the evidence to live forever.
And I 100% get it as well.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I'll
how
do
I
that as
do
well.
it.
Yeah, because we're bastards.
Yeah. Love you, Megan.
Yeah, love you. Right, anyway, on with the episode. So this week's episode has been inspired by a film that we watched, that we both watched, that we were both excited to watch. You mentioned it a few weeks ago on the podcast, and it was called Late Night with the Devil.
I did mention this on the podcast a few weeks ago.
You did. And I hadn't seen it about that point. So you gave a brief summary of what it's about and said what you thought about it. So I was really excited to watch it, and I finally watched it. We have gone to talk about it the last couple of weeks, but we've always ran over. And then we're like, right, we'll finally talk about it this week. But the lead in the film is an actor called David Dastmalchian. Mm-hmm. And I imagine most people will go, Who? Who the hell's that? But David Dastmalchian is, I think, one of the best actors in the business right now.
He's unreal. Yeah.
He is so good. He is a chameleon. He can do everything. Mm-hmm. He blends into so many different roles, takes on the weirdest and most wonderful characters, and has such range. He's one of those actors that no one's heard of, but everyone recognizes his face. He's got a very distinctive face, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
Probably we'll go through a lot of his films and we'll talk about Late Night with the Devil at the end, I think, because that will do like a little deep dive into that, because that's what we've been building up to. But, you know, looking at the brief films, just a brief list of his films, because he's been in a lot of stuff. I think he's got over 90 film acting credits.
Over 90 credits, man.
And he's only been, his first film was The Dark Knight, which was in 2008. So only in like 16 years, he's racked up a lot of films. So he's in a lot of things, right from your little independent films, you know, films that he's written himself and produced, so low budget stuff, proper B-movie horrors, right up to your major blockbusters.
Major blockbusters. He does a lot of voice acting in cartoons as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a very talented man. He does like comics as well. He's huge into the horror world. He does I think he does like his own like podcast and TV show as well. He's got his own comic book strip out as well.
That's what I was literally just Googling. Yeah, he's got his own comic out.
Yeah, Count Crowley it's called, or Crowley. I don't know how you pronounce it, Crowley.
Vampire comic, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Because I think he's into all the macabre, the weird and wonderful, all the things that we love, really.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that when he listens to this podcast, which obviously he's going to, because Megan's going to tag him in everything, and then he's going to, you know, read it and see it and then listen to the podcast and then want to come on and speak to us, because
why wouldn't
you? And I think we'll become instantly best friends because we're going to have the same interests.
Definitely.
And then this is how we're going to get into a film, because obviously he's got film connections. So then we can be extras in some of his films, in a David Dastmalchian film.
And then he can be in our film.
Yes.
That we're going to shoot.
Even if it's just a cameo.
Exactly, because it's horror.
Yeah. So he's going to be down for that.
Yeah.
I know we're taking the piss, but like...
I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
He seems like a proper genuine guy. Has loads of like stories about everyone saying in Hollywood that he's like one of the nicest blokes, forms lasting friendships. and he seems proper down to earth, so he does seem the type that probably would.
He's like, you know what? If I've got a spare hour, fuck it, I'll come for a bit. Like, just get some beers in, lads.
Yeah.
Like, as we would a guest of the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll order you a boot and pizza, 16-inch, mate. Just tell me what toppings you want. It's yours, babe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get you some beers in, or whatever you want, vino or a gin and tonic.
Yep.
Or if you don't drink, I don't know, crack. Well, whatever you want, man, mate. Whatever you want, it's yours.
Yeah, whatever you want. I mean, I think he's probably going to steer away from the drugs because he had a heroin addiction for 5 years.
Oh, shit, sorry. Okay, didn't know that, sorry.
Yeah. So that's he did have a heroin addiction. I think he's been come out and quite public for it it because he's a big advocate for like recovery now and like
good
coming out of it. So he's done a film that we're not going to talk about today because neither of us have seen it. It's a film called Animals.
Yeah.
So he wrote that, and I think it's semi-autobiographical, so about like heroin addiction and the struggles with that. So I think it's quite a gritty, sort of powerful film. He wrote it and he stars in it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get hold of this film for a while, and it's impossible.
Really? Not on Amazon or anything?
I mean, it came out in 2014, so this is like before I was big into like David Dastmalchian. And obviously, it's going to be a small independent film, but I think the problem is, unless you go on like a dodgy bootleg, which you probably will be able to find it.
And we're not going to do that to the man.
No, we're not. But I don't think the film has the rights to distribute it in the UK.
Right, okay.
So on like Prime, you know, when you go to buy things on Prime, it comes up saying this video is not available in your country.
Oh, that's a shame.
So you can get a DVD of it from the actual company that made the film.
Right.
But it's like 20 quid for like a basic DVD, and it's got to come from America. So it's like
it'll be in the wrong region.
Well, they said it's region free.
Okay.
But it's like 16 quid delivery. I was like, I can't spend nearly 40 quid on a DVD.
Yeah.
As much as I love David Dastmalchian and I've watched a lot of his films.
And we know you're listening, but we ain't got the Hollywood money.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're listening, David, and we really want to watch that film because we really want to talk about it, just send it to us.
Megan's
got a PO box.
Easy as that.
Yeah. So, like I said to the listeners, most people aren't going to know the name David Dastmalchian, but hopefully when we start going through some of these films, you'll go, oh my God, I know who you're talking about. Like, oh, that guy, I recognise that guy. He's absolutely awesome and he's brilliant at everything he's in.
So should we say at the minute, if you don't know who he is, don't Google him and see if you can figure out who he is as we're talking.
I like that. Yeah.
Because I genuinely believe the first film we're going to talk about, you'll know who he is instantly. Because like we say, very, very distinctive look about him.
Yes.
And I think once you pick up that look, you know him.
You just pick it, yeah.
I tell you, weirdly enough, we're going to talk about a film that he starred in alongside this guy. To me, he has big like Michael Pena vibes. Because Michael Pena, to me, he's got a distinctive look.
Yes.
And he's in so much that you go, it's fucking Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly the same with David Dastmalchian.
Yeah.
That you're like, there he is. There's my boy.
Oh my God, it's David Dastmalchian.
And you know him immediately.
Yeah. And what I love about him, he can just pop up anywhere in any type of film and just absolutely nail it.
Yeah.
Whether he's in a film like a cameo and he's in it for 2 scenes, or he's a leading man as he is in Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
But we'll start where it all began for him. His first ever Hollywood film, his first ever film completely, because I think he was doing theatre scene in Chicago and then got picked up for probably, you know, one of the biggest and most critically acclaimed films of all time.
I mean, you know, just his first film, so it'll be some B movie, you know, like everyone starts it. Like, look at Johnny Depp, you know, fucking what was it?
He was a Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, he was just like one of the kids, wasn't he? Like the boyfriend.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's something like that, is it?
Well, yeah, pretty much. It was just a little film called The Dark Knight.
Oh, The Dark Knight. Yes, yeah. Chris, probably the most critically acclaimed fucking thingy movie of all time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think it's currently sitting at like the 3rd greatest film of all time on IMDb. Is it?
Is it
something like that? It's got like 9. I'll double check now because I've got an IMDb open. But what a film to debut in! It's got 9 out of 10. The Dark Knight.
I cannot wait for David Dastmalchian to be on this podcast and tell us how he got into this.
Yeah, I know. That'd be a great story. How you get from being a Chicago theatre actor to working with Christopher Nolan, sharing, because he's only got a small role. He plays the Joker's thug, so you'll recognize, everyone that's seen The Dark Knight will recognize it. So it's the funeral scene for the the mayor, is it, who's
Yep.
been assassinated,
Mm-hmm.
and all the police are lining the streets. They're thinking the Joker's going to attack. Everyone's on the lookout. Batman's ready to go. They're all there, and David Dastmalchian is the Joker's thug, and he's in the police get-up, and that's it. He's in there for the assassination attempt, and he gets captured. Then Harvey Dent whisks him off, doesn't he, and starts interrogating him.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's like, tell me where the Joker is, tell me where the Joker is. And Batman turns up, and, you know, that's sort of the only scene that they're in, where he's a bit crazed. He's obviously got a lot of mental health issues, this character, and he plays it so well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he comes across as psychotic, but on the edge, and he's nervous, and you can tell he's the sort of person that's going along.
The typical person that the Joker would recruit.
Oh, absolutely.
Someone who is mentally unhinged, that needs a place.
Yes, he's unstable and he's very vulnerable, and it's so amazing that I think, to say he's not even got a name, he's just the Joker's thug.
Yeah.
And he's in 2 scenes, but straight away, your debut film, you're going toe-to-toe with Christian Bale and Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah. Yes, mate.
And it's like, what? Thrown in the deep. Directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, bearing in mind, every time I saw David Dastmalchian after this, so there's a couple of films on there that we've not read down, but I'll go into a bit later on.
Yeah.
Every time I saw this guy, so I wasn't huge into him, but I saw him everywhere. And every time I saw him, it's the guy from
It's the guy from The Dark Knight.
And that's where I was picking him up from, you know, just as he's slowly making his way into my film repertoire a bit more.
Yeah.
It was always the dude from The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And he's not that anymore, but that's what he always was for so many years.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's a really good way of putting it, because I'm the same as you. It's like, oh my God, it's the guy from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible that I think he just brings so much. Just from, I don't think he has many lines at all. I'm trying to think of what anything he does say.
He plays that nervous,
on edge, like that energy, like any unpredictability as well as that vulnerability. I think it's an incredible moment that, just like you said, anyone that loves The Dark Knight and have seen that will recognize him instantly.
And to think of, bearing in mind this is first, they could have picked up any major name in Hollywood at this time to play that.
Yeah.
And they would have been fucking gassed to play this cameo part.
Yeah.
But they picked up this young kid. I mean,
you weren't even that young in it. So I think he was born in 1975. This came out in 2008. So he's talking, what, early 30s?
Oh, really?
So he'd be about 30, depending on when they filmed it, 32, 33?
A kid, mate. I know it's your age, but a kid to me.
Obviously. Well,
you know what I'm saying? This young kid.
Yeah. But what a break. And obviously, I don't think from then he's ever looked back, really, because I know he did a lot of stuff and a lot of other credits, but we'll move on to his next major one that we're picking out, because we're doing a very quick whistle-stop tour.
Yeah.
And it's the 2013 film Prisoners.
Yeah. I mean, just before we get into Double D.
To Double D, yeah.
Big Dave. This film is... You know what? Up there with one of my favourite films of all time.
I completely agree.
It is not on fucking Netflix anymore.
That's annoying.
Net has removed it.
It does do the rounds, though.
It does. It is one of the greatest thrillers of all time.
Yep.
Everybody in this plays their role to 101%.
Yep. I'll read the plot summary, because I feel like it's one of them that, even though it was a major film and it's critically acclaimed, and anyone that's seen it has gone, what a film. I still feel like it's a bit of a hidden gem in a way.
Yeah, not everyone's seen it, because it wasn't a blockbuster.
No, because it's not the type of film that will be a blockbuster. It's not like, I mean, The Dark Knight is quite a dark, gritty film, but it's still a superhero film. It's still appealing to the masses. Whereas this, despite the cast, Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal in the leads, 2 A-list heavy hitters, it's a dark theme, isn't it? So the plot is, when Keller Dover's daughter and her friend go missing, he takes matters into his own hands as the police pursue multiple leads and the pressure mounts. So basically, Hugh Jackman plays a father whose daughter gets kidnapped right at the start.
Yeah, so it's him and Terrence
Howard, yep.
play the fathers of these kidnapped kids.
Yep.
And there is a young boy who is being accused of it, played by Paul Dano, who, oh my fucking God, we're doing a Dano episode.
Oh, yeah, we should do.
Telling you now,
Yeah.
this guy, I mean, just to get him and David Dastmalchian in the same film, because they are both up there.
They're both like that, and they're very similar in that sense that they can blend in and they take on incredible roles and are not afraid to put themselves out there in these
Not
sort of
at
like
all.
disturbing characters.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I totally agree. Paul Dano and David Dastmalchian I'd put in a similar bracket, but this is a film where everyone's bringing their A game.
Oh, mate.
Hugh Jackman as the absolutely stressed, terrified, sad parent who's angry. You're feeling all the emotions he's feeling, and it's easy to feel think he's being a bit of a dick because he's so aggressive. But what depths would you go? And this is the question, isn't it?
This is the moral of the story. What depths would you go to get your child back? I mean, this dude tortures a man.
Yeah.
He is torturing this poor kid who he has been told has the brain of a 10-year-old.
Yep.
Because I mean, you kind of see why. Like, some of the shit he says to him that you're like, you see why he thinks it's him.
Yes. Because he doesn't help himself, but he's a very vulnerable man,
a very vulnerable man.
young man.
He tortures him. It gets to a point where it's like, we physically can't beat him anymore or he'll die. So the only way to keep him going is by locking him in this cupboard where he can't sit, like pure torture.
Yeah.
Can't sit down, and every now and then we'll scold him.
With boiling water.
That won't kill him.
Or we'll put freezing cold water because it won't kill him. We can't keep beating on his face.
Yeah, but he will eventually talk to us. And that's the moral of this story. Of like, how far would you go to protect your child?
And to protect your family. Yeah. And it's an insane film. And Jake Gyllenhaal plays the Detective Loki, who's the detective that's
sexy as shit, mate.
Yeah. And
that boy suits a neck tattoo.
Yeah, he does. And Jake Gyllenhaal always brings lots of weird little nuances to his role, and this is one where he's got like weird twitches in his eye flickers.
Twitch
and
is
like,
unreal, yeah.
It's like it's just so natural though that you think that you would assume that he's got that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's a rough cop who's been through fucking He's been through wars,
and he's in a horrific place where all the pressure's on him to find these missing kids, and the pressure's mounting. He's got an aggressive. Hugh Jackman is scary in this film, by the way.
Scary.
To say he's normally like the pretty boy, even as Wolverine, he's not scary.
No,
he's just a big softy.
Of course
and then you see him in
play with his sideburns.
Yeah, like, you're so cute, look at your little claws. And then a Greatest Showman and stuff like that. He's a pretty boy.
Yeah.
But in this, with his goatee and he looks like someone you would not mess with.
No.
It's an incredible film, and directed by Denis Villeneuve, who's one of the greatest directors in the world right now. Obviously just brought out the 2 Dune films. Sicario,
Arrival, was that Denis?
Arrival, yeah. He's a master of cinema, and this was I think this was his big breakthrough film as well. And the film's got sitting at 8.2 out of 10 as well.
Still think it deserves more than that.
I agree. It's ranked 157th greatest film of all time, which I feel like is doing it a disservice. But the fact that any film that gets onto this list is a legendary film.
Absolutely.
And by the way, The Dark Knight was number 3 on the list of the greatest film of all time.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously we're talking about David Dastmalchian, who plays, as he does in a lot of films, a small role.
Yeah.
A small but very memorable role.
Oh, God, yeah.
So he plays, because we'll not give the twists away, we'll not give the ending away, but he plays a suspect. Mm-hmm. So he becomes a suspect of the kidnapping. So the Detective Loki chases him down, finds him. He's got children's clothing that he was buying, babies' clothes. His house is full of dolls and stuff. And again,
and snakes,
yeah, snakes locked in cupboards and suitcases and stuff. So not a million miles away from the Joker thug in terms of that on edge, that vulnerability. Someone with clearly mental health issues and has got trauma and is sort of like probably on the edge of society. Doesn't have good social skills, struggles verbally. There's an interrogation scene where he's not really speaking, he's just drawing, isn't he? But he has one of the most memorable scenes in the film.
So that scene you're mentioning, I'll not say what it is. I watched an interview with him where he's talking. He's when he interviews. Have you seen a lot of his interviews?
I've seen some, but not loads.
Like, he's always got his nails painted. He closes his eyes a lot when he talks. He articulates so well.
Yeah.
And he's talking about his scene and how he does give it 110%. And he said probably only 2 or 3 times in his career, bearing in mind the characters he plays, where he's lost himself to the role.
Yes.
And he said
okay.
that scene was one of the scenes where he lost himself to the role. He does what he does.
Yeah.
He says, and he lost himself in that moment. And he
Wow.
says he come back around and he said he was fucking petrified. He was scared. He says what was so lovely was, he said the cast was all around him. He said Jake Gyllenhaal had his hand on his chest and just helping him breathe and helping him come back around. And it was just like, it was such a scary experience, but it was so nice to be on set and have these people around me.
Yeah, and that's lovely. And I think,
But to fall into that just tells you what you're giving to this.
Yeah, that's it. He becomes his characters, doesn't he? He very much does that. Because like I said, I think he is a chameleon of an actor. He's unbelievable in that. So that is definitely not just for David Dastmalchian. Watch that film for a great piece of cinema. That's an unbelievable film.
Yeah.
And everyone's bringing their A game. But we'll move on because we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So the next one, which most people probably recognise him from these days, a certain generation, other than the Joker's thug, he is in Ant-Man, and he's in the Ant-Man franchise. So he's in all 3 Ant-Man films. He plays Kurt.
Yes.
Who is one of Ant-Man's sidekicks, basically.
So there's him, there's Michael Pena, and there's another one.
There is another one. My mind's gone blank.
Yeah, I can't remember who the third one is, but it's like his posse that kind of pick him up early on. When Michael Pena picks him up from the prison after he gets out in the first one, takes him back. He's kind of in David Dastmalchian, like the whiz kid on the computer.
Yeah, he's like the hacker, and he plays he's like an Eastern European, isn't he? He's like he plays Kurt, and this is nice to see because he's just like one of the guys now, but he's a bit quirky, he's a bit different,
He is, yeah.
And it's a chance because it's like a Marvel film and it's all a bit, and Ant-Man's fun and silly,
very tongue in cheek.
It's very tongue in cheek, and he's able to show off his comedic style in this, and that's why it's quite nice to see a change of pace away from like the dark films that we've just come from and what we'd associate him with. Like I love him in the second one with it's Ant-Man the Wasp, isn't it? Where it's like Ghost. Is it Ghost? She's called Ghost, isn't she? And she like can obviously just like move through walls and stuff and appear and like apparate, and he just refers to as the Baba Yaga, and like he just has a little song, he's like Baba Yaga come at night, and like just this, it's just stupid but it's so funny. It's like proper deadpan, and it's just like a really good, like well-timed delivery. So he's in Ant-Man and Ant-Man the Wasp, and then he's in the third one, Ant-Man Quantumania, but he plays one of the weird, have you watched Quantumania?
No, never.
So he plays one of the weird creatures that's like underground. So he doesn't reply as Kurt because Kurt's not in it. He plays Veb, who's like this weird little creature. So although he's not Kurt, he's still reprising his role a little bit. But yeah, I think a lot of people recognize him as Kurt. You know, he's like a lot of the actors in the Marvel universe have done a few other things. He's in What If and stuff.
Yes, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Is he in the zombie What If episode?
I'm not overly sure.
I can't remember. But anyway, lots of people have seen that and will recognise him from that. Anything else you want to add about Ant-Man and the Marvel series?
No.
You know, the thing is, you know, it's gone DC and Marvel. So within like 7 years, 2 major franchises straight away. But anyway,
absolutely.
Next big film is 2 years later. Again, he's racking up lots of credits in between. I feel like I'm doing him a disservice, but the next big one would be Blade Runner 2049, which brings him back alongside his what becomes frequent collaborator, Denis Villeneuve, who obviously directed Blade Runner 2049. Which, have you seen Blade Runner?
I can't remember which one I've seen. I've seen one of them. I remember sitting down and I think it was the original I watched. Never thought 2049.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think, it was because I couldn't find the original. I had to buy it instead of watching 2049.
Right.
Like,
okay.
I can't watch this without seeing the original.
Yeah. Totally. Well, I really like the Blade Runner 2049. Again, I'm just going to do a very brief chat about this because I could do a whole episode just on Blade Runner. Blade Runner 1 was one of my favorite films of all time, the original, and I was very worried when they announced they were going to do a sequel. As you are, why do you need to touch a great film? It's a cult classic. It's from the 80s. Why does it need a sequel? 30 years later or whatever. Well, and the rest 35 years later or whatever. Does it need to happen? But they absolutely got the right man for the job in Denis. Unbelievable cast. Harrison Ford reprising his role, Ryan Gosling, Jared Leto. Or again, Denis Villeneuve brings out people's A games.
Yeah.
He just brings their top level. And David Dastmalchian only plays a small role in this. He plays Coco. He's the what's the word I'm looking for? People that do autopsies. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, mortician? No, not
Yeah. So he's basically, he does like the autopsy.
Yeah.
So he's in a few scenes, quite a small role, but again, very different. You know, he sort of like fits in seamlessly to this futuristic world where he looks he's got a shaved head. He looks quite different. Again, a bit awkward, a bit bumbling, bit different, but you know, a major film. 8 out of 10 it's got, won a few Oscars, critically acclaimed. You know, he's doing all right for himself, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm just going to do, as we go on the list, a year later he did All Creatures Here Below, which I'm just saying this because it's Karen Gillan.
Mm-hmm.
Gillan? Again, most known for being Nebula in the Marvel franchise. So All Creatures Here Below. So it's a desperate young couple on the run seek refuge in Kansas City. I mentioned that one because it's starring David and Karen, but he wrote that one as well.
Okay.
I don't know how much that one's autobiographical because I think he's from Kansas originally as well. So the fact that it's set there would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally from Kansas. So again, perhaps elements of his personal life in there. I would like to watch that. That one is on Prime.
Okay.
Might have to pay for it,
Okay.
but again, one worth checking out just because to expand and feel like if you're a big proper fan of his, you'd want to watch that.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting, again, like talking about the roles he's been in and obviously being picked up very early by Nolan, and you know he's clearly really impressed Denis Villeneuve to be in these films.
Yeah,
like he's huge. He's still writing his own stuff.
Yeah,
and you know acting his own stuff. But then like just to show the kind of person, you know, he's making the Marvel films, the DC films, but he is in a few of the Kevin Smith movies as well.
Right.
So he's in like, I think he's in Reboot or Strikes Back. He's in Jason Mewes' Method, the Madness in the Method, or whatever it is. So like, it just goes to show like he's not just with the A-listers or just over here or just trying to be a lower tier sort of I write my own stuff.
Exactly.
He's got friends everywhere and people take him on like we need this dude in our film.
Yeah.
Whether it just to be, I mean, I think in the Jane Silent Bob film, his character is nervous cop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's him and that's what he's known for, and kind of it's a wink and a nudge to Hollywood and that type of thing. And I love that he is with the A-listers. He is doing his own stuff, but he's still fucking knocking about with Jason Mewes and Kevin
That's
Smith.
it. He's not like he's not bigger than that. He's not forgetting his roots. He's more than happy to just. I think he's the sort of guy that would go. If he likes the sound of it, he'll do it.
Oh yeah,
and it doesn't like exactly like you said. Doesn't matter if it's A-list or like an independent film or low budget. He will do that if it interests him.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about. I like seeing that about people. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago where I hate the idea of like these A-list Hollywood stars marching onto a film set with their entourage and just like bullying people. Like I'm the star of the show. Like I hate that. Like people, you like to think get into that world because they like film and they like creating stuff and doing things that are fun and cool and different. And he definitely seems to be one that's doing that. And I think very grateful for, you know, the journey he's on, especially coming back from like fighting an addiction against heroin. Fucking hell.
God, absolutely.
Imagine coming back from that to being where you are now. You'd like to think you'd have nothing but gratitude.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it takes seeing your darkest moments to be able to share the light, doesn't it? So
absolutely. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you, mate. Therapy, innit?
Yeah. yeah, nailing it. But anyway, I feel like the biggie for him that really changed the trajectory of his career, and I don't know what you think, but for me, this is the moment where he goes from not being the guy, hey, that's the guy that's in The Dark Knight, to being his own right character, a person in himself, where people go, David Dastmalchian, and that is the Suicide Squad.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, you see him in it. If you're not big into him or overly into film, you go, that is the guy from. But that can soon be fucking replaced with, it's not the guy from Dark Knight anymore, it's Polka Dot Man.
It's Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my God. What did you think of the Suicide Squad? Go on.
Fucking loved it. It was so I don't hate the first. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I really don't. For what it was kind of fun. It just was what it was. Like Sunday afternoon, if it was on, I wouldn't turn it off. You know, I had fuck all else to watch. But this one, it hit everything: the gore, the comedy, the characters. Obviously, different characters.
Yep.
The cast was unreal.
Oh yeah.
Bearing in mind, from David Dastmalchian, everything that we've just told you about him, to Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Everything we know about Idris Elba, to John Cena, the wrestler.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and we'll just throw in Margot Robbie as well.
yeah. Let's get Margot Robbie in there. And I mean, who was it that played the shark?
It was Sylvester Stallone.
It was Sly. Do you know what I mean? Let's get all these people in the room and go on then.
Yeah.
Off you go.
And it's unbelievable
And
mix.
you know what? Between obviously, I can't remember if it's Weasel Man or whatever it is.
Weasel Man. Yeah.
Weasel Man.
Or Weasel. I think it's just called Weasel.
Yeah. So like, obviously he is very memorable from this film, but he's only intro and outro.
Yeah.
But the memorable part of this film is Polka Dot Man.
Absolutely.
Because you love all the other characters, and obviously, what's his name? John Cena's character, Peacemaker. He got his own TV show and stuff.
Yeah, because he was incredible in that, and that a lot of people put John Cena on the map as an actor. Suddenly, he's arrived. He's transitioned now from WWE Hall of Famer, absolute legend, to a proper actor now.
Yeah, but it still doesn't hold up to Polka Dot Man.
No, I'm totally the same. I love this film for all the reasons you said. It was fun. It was gory. They were prepared to kill characters off, which is what Suicide Squad's all about.
Exactly.
But the standout performance, the one I could not stop thinking about from this film, was Polka Dot Man.
I think they cast it very well in the aspect of what David Dastmalchian, in a way, is kind of known for, that nervous train wreck of a person.
Yeah.
And not him himself, but
the outsider.
And that's exactly what this character is. He, like, you know, there's a scene where they're being briefed and he's like, oh, fucking hell, this is a suicide, you know, this is a suicide mission. And he just turns around and goes, I hope so.
Yeah.
It's
like we're all going to die.
He's
like, oh, I hope so.
That's it. Yeah,
and he's got this weird thing because he's obviously got strained to the, shall we say, relationship with his mum in this film, to say the least. So all he ever does is picture his mum.
Yeah,
and like it's just so many great scenes where he just pictures his mum, and then like obviously
he just sees a massive instead of Starro, and when he's dancing in the club and he's dancing with his mum.
Oh, it's so funny. Again, so just showing his versatility, that he's like, he can have that vulnerability, and he's like sort of meek and shy, and you just want to kind of put an arm around him and be like, oh, it's all right, we can be friends. But then delivering these one-liners with absolute class and precision, where you burst out laughing, because
he does play this nervous character the whole way through, and it's just that redemption moment at the end against Starro where he's like, I'm a fucking superhero. Bang.
I know, and I was devastated about that because I just wanted more of him. I wanted more of Polka Dot Man. But again, this just shows that it's a testament to David Dastmalchian, because going into that film, again, okay, yes, we recognise him, but we're film buffs. Going into that film, a major blockbuster film, everyone goes, oh, I know Idris Elba. He's huge. John Cena, even if you don't watch wrestling, you know John Cena is. Margot Robbie is absolutely huge. And then you've got, who's this guy that's Polka Dot Man that's in this squad? Like, I know everyone except him, yet he completely holds his own. If not, he's better than them. He elevates above it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think suddenly people were not going, oh, I recognise that guy from the Joker. Everyone goes, it's Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
Who is Polka Dot Man? I want to know more about him. Tell me more about this guy called who? David Dastmalchian. What a complicated name.
Yeah. Let's be honest, we don't even know if we're saying it right.
I know, yeah. So apologies, David. So
we know you're listening. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the one that changed, I think, his trajectory and made a much more wider audience accessible to him. Again, that was 2021. Another major one in 2021 as well. He was in June, part 1.
Yeah, still not seen it, so I'm going to leave these ones to you.
Yeah, again, he's only got a smaller role. He's Peter, or I think it's Peter de Vries. So basically, he's a villain. He is like, I don't know the exact term for it, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically his role, those type of characters that he plays, he's an assistant to the Baron. So every like major duke or leader has one of these assistants. They're very calculated, they're cold, they're sort of like they plan everything. It's like they can plot, they stop assassinations, they plan assassinations, they do whatever. So he's very cold, calculated. Again, looks very different because the Harkonnens, they're all shaved head. Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Austin Butler in the new one. Yeah. So again, he looks weird. He's very sci-fi. He looks very different. But again, a smaller role, perhaps bigger than his other Denis Villeneuve ones, because again, this reunites him with Denis for the third time, which goes to show these lasting friendships he makes.
Absolutely.
And makes like big impression on big directors. But again, plays it well, plays it to the T. I think he did a great job for those that, because Dune is a cult following and based on a book. So I think he did, again, held his own in a huge cast, major production. So it's nice to see. And he was also, where are we looking? Before we move on to 2023, he was, reunited with Christopher Nolan once again, 15 years later after Christopher Nolan gave him his first break in Hollywood, and he returns for Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Again, a smaller role. I think he plays one of the lawyers. I can't really remember in that film because I've only seen it the once at the cinema, and it was a lot to take in, and there's an insane cast in there. Yeah. But suddenly, David Dastmalchian's a recognisable person in that. It's not like, I've seen his face before. It's like, oh my God, it's David Dastmalchian. And again, more than able to play a very serious role in a very serious film that's not weird, that's not quirky, it's not out there. He's not an introvert. He's just showing more and more his versatility. He can be in a serious drama that's absolutely Dune Part 1, just out of curiosity, 8 out of 10. Oppenheimer 8.3. Yeah. These are all hugely critical acclaimed films. Yeah. And I'm not, like I said, it's not all just down to him because he's not the lead and there's a huge team behind them, but the fact that he gets picked time and time again to be in these, I think, just
testament.
But the big one we wanted to talk about was a 2023 film, that Late Night with the Devil. And what's great about this, which is different to every single film we've talked about, he's the lead. Finally, we get to see him in the lead.
Yeah.
And wow, again, does he show what an actor he is, because this role is incredible and so different to everything else he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of talking, so I think you should talk about Late Night with the Devil.
I already have.
Tell us more.
So if you missed that episode where we discussed it, Late Night with the Devil is sort of set in the 70s.
It's set in the 70s, yeah.
He's a talk show host, starts off, sort of explains his life. Can't remember his character's name, but
it's Jack Delroy.
Jack Delroy. So it talks about Jack's life and how he becomes the biggest sort of like late night TV star. Loses his wife, ratings start dipping, trying to make his way back up, and then it goes on talking about the fateful night. So this is a found footage horror movie about a late night talk show on Halloween where they bring in a young girl and her carer, and she is supposed to be possessed by the devil.
Yes.
But only the carer can talk to the devil.
Yep.
And there's everyone you expect in a talk show. So you got like Jack's right-hand man who stands with the brass band
and makes cracks wise jokes and stuff like wisecracking jokes, isn't he? Yeah.
And then you've got a guy there that's there to disprove fucking
paranormal stuff,
shit, and
he's had different guests on, does he? It's literally like a talk show that we even get now. It's just a bit cheesier because it's American 70s, so it's a little bit more like, and welcome to, what is it? Yeah. The Night Owls, isn't it? Night Owls with Jack Delroy. Yeah. And then everyone's applauding and he comes on. But yeah, I love the start of it, how it's like exactly like you said. It's like a documentary almost. It's like a voiceover. It's like Jack Delroy was, the hit guy on radio that transitioned into film. And it's like a few shots of I think that what they do really well is they establish like a background to this character
very quickly
and very effectively. A few shots of him laughing on different shows that he's done over the years. And the big thing is, like you said, he's pushing for ratings, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's always second best. He can't beat number one.
Yeah.
And then so that fateful night where he tries to push the barrel out even more because it sweeps weeks, which means the ratings come in and he's trying to impress and get a new contract and. Yeah.
it can quite easily put you off, because if you're not into found footage films, which I'm not overly, it's been done to death. You've got your classics. So I'm not big into found footage really anymore, because it's been done well. But this is just completely different.
Absolutely
because it's not found footage of a person holding a video camera.
That's what I was worried about. You know, when you described it, because I had not seen the trailer, I'd only seen the posters, and I was worried it was going to be like shaky cam, like footage. I wasn't sure how it was going to work.
Yeah, so it's shot like a TV show, and then when they break for TV ads, a little bit shaky camera, because it's just the camera will just turn to look at Jack having a cigarette and a quick sip of whiskey before he goes back on. So it's just the camera's looking at him instead of, and so the found footage is done like that. So it's professional found footage.
Exactly. It's no shaky cam. It's not unsettling. Because I said that to Claire, because Claire and I watched it, and she was the same. She was like, I get motion sickness if it's shaky cam, and I'm the same. I don't really like it, but it wasn't. It was steady, and like you said. So most of it, when it's the show, it's just you're watching a TV show, like you would watch now if you'd watch the Graham Norton show or anything like that. But yeah, it was nice that I thought it was just going to be that, but it was nice when they did the breaks, and then you got a little bit more of the intricacies of the character. Yeah, speaking with his producer and speaking with the guests on show, and
it's nice, isn't it? Because you got the you still got the side characters like the bastard producer who's just get on with it, right? Yeah, you're doing good, Jack. You shut the fuck up, go over there. Just keep pushing this, keep pushing this.
Come on, more of this, more of that. Go.
Yeah, we don't care about that. Okay, yeah. Are we ready to get the devil out? Are we ready to, push, ratings.
And then like his right hand man who's worried, like, the cast are worried, going too far type thing. He's like, it's fine, just crack on, because it's what you're prepared to do. To get the best TV show. But what I think really clever is the horror element. So for the first 2/3 of the film, obviously it's a slow build. He gets his first guest on, who's Christou, who's like your stereotypical medium, and he's like, I'm hearing a name. Is it Peterson? He's like, I've got an Uncle Peter. It's like, yes, it's him. He's full of shit. But then he starts screaming at the end, doesn't he? He's like, I'm getting another name. It's like, someone answer it. And then, you're thinking, is this all part of the act? And that's what the characters are doing in the film. Like Jack is a bit like, is that real? And then you get the guy who comes on second to disprove it. It's like, it's all fake.
It's all fake. Oh, he passed out. Oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the film, they're like, Christou died on the way to the hospital. Like,
yeah, and you're like, whoa, shit. And suddenly things start unraveling a little bit. And then obviously, the second act, they get the girl out. Mm-hmm. Millie, is she called?
Can't remember.
I think it's Millie. And to do the chat with the devil, and then things start. It's Lily, sorry.
Lily.
And then things start unraveling, and I'm not going to talk about the twist at the end or the final act, because I think it's weird, the final act. It goes a bit into overdrive. I still really enjoyed it.
Good. But I want to talk to you about it, so we'll do that off air. But
yeah, because I think a few people might find it a bit jarring, perhaps a bit over the top, maybe.
But it is, and this is what I said in the last episode. It is. It's 70. You know what I mean? In a way, they kept with that 70s vibe, with the 70s graphics, the 70s jumps. You know what I mean? Although obviously this is real life, supposed to be, it's found footage stuff, it's still kept with that theme, which I really liked. It didn't sort of come out of that and you'd be like, oh, it's just everyone dressed in 70s stuff, because it can quite easily turn into that. Monday with everyone dressed in 70s just while all this crazy shit's going on. It kept them sort of graphics and kept you in that world. Absolutely. Which I really liked.
What do you think of the film as a whole? How would you rate it?
I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I will go back to it time and time again.
I'm exactly the same.
It's, as horrors go, I would quite happily sit with people that aren't big into horror and sit and watch it.
Yep.
I think it's got more of a psychological sort of horror to it than it has physical.
Yep, I agree.
There are some, obviously, parts. I think it's clever. I think it's very unique. And I think that's the thing.
And I think you're absolutely right. And that is so hard to do for horror these days. Something that's unique and done well. And this is both of that. To say it's like a little film that's gone on straight onto, Shudder, as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure if it got a limited cinema release. It might have done.
If it did, I didn't say it.
No. But it's so cleverly done. It's a nice take. a chat show, something we, even though it's 70s and it's a little bit over the top, it's something we can all relate to now. How many of us still watch chat shows? We'll go on YouTube and watch bloody Jimmy Fallon or all the American ones or all the British ones. So I feel like it's a concept that's still familiar.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's set over one episode in a found footage way, I think it's just really clever, really well done. I absolutely, same as you, I absolutely loved it. I just want to rewatch it again.
Yeah.
It was one of them I feel like I will come back to time and time again and just stick on. I think for me, in a weird way, it'll become like a comfort film.
Yeah.
One of those that I'll just stick on even if it's just in the background.
Yeah. And everybody plays their parts perfectly, down from David Dastmalchian in the lead role, who is phenomenal, to the conspiracy theorist, like trying to debunk all the conspiracy theories and stuff. Like, he just plays his arsehole nature so well.
Yeah.
The Lily is fucking terrifying.
Oh, yeah, she is.
She has eyes for Jack.
And she just stares at the camera as well. So she'll just be staring right at you whilst it's like a wide shot of all the guests. And she's just staring right at you. And it's so unsettling. This film is more unsettling than it is scary.
Absolutely.
And I prefer that in a horror.
Definitely.
There's no cheap jump scares that I can remember anyway. It's just really cleverly done, character driven, with a unique take. And let's just end, obviously, with David Dastmalchian's performance then.
Yeah. Unreal. Like, he didn't have... I'm not an actor, believe it or not. I'm very good at it, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
But,
the amount of takes that we do on this, there are things we have to re-record and pretend like we've not just done it.
But to me, it doesn't feel like the hardest character to portray, really. But he makes it his own.
Oh, yeah.
Like, genuinely do not think this film would have been as good with anybody. If you'd had some pretty boy, fucking whoever playing that role, it just wouldn't have fit.
Yeah.
He sat in that 70s role so well, just the cheap suit, having a fag in the breaks.
Like the rings on his fingers. I like just he had a lot of like mannerisms, or quite a few like nuances in his character, didn't he? Like I love that. Like it's just the way his mannerisms with his hands. He'd like have a hand in a pocket, and he's like using his other hand to articulate to the audience and to the camera, and like he'd like clicking, and he just had a few little quirks and character traits. And I think what's fascinating is it's such a different character to everything we've played. He's confident, he's charming, he's the leading man of a TV show. He's good looking, he's suave. And it's like, this is so far removed from the unhinged characters that are like, on the verge of absolute chaos and mental strain, that this guy's like, who feels like he's in control. He's the star. The world's revolving around him. So I feel like it's quite nice rather than him being on the periphery.
Yeah, absolutely.
The focus is all on him, and he carries this film. And I hope this is the first of many leading films we see him in.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess the thing is, we can go to it and we can say, but there are many that we just haven't seen.
Yeah, true.
But, for me, he's a newer face. He's, the other films, as we've seen, aren't easy to get a hold of. They're not.
Yeah,
they're not as out there as these or publicized as these. Because I remember seeing the advert for this very early.
Yeah,
and I could not wait for it. One, the talk show idea was great for me, but to know David Dastmalchian was leading it, immediately was like, I am not missing this for the fucking world.
I'm exactly the same,
and that's why when I did talk about this in the episode of a month or so ago, I was like, right, get Shudder.
Yeah.
For a 7-day free trial, 14-day free trial, or whatever, it is worth it for
absolutely.
This film.
Yeah.
You're not even got to carry it on after that.
Yeah.
It's worth it to witness this film.
Absolutely. And it was one of them because I was so looking forward to it, even more so after you'd said, because again, I'd been waiting for it for ages because, I follow him on Instagram, so I try to keep up to date with all his stuff. And it was one of them where I'm not gonna rush this on like a Friday, on like a random night during the week.
Yeah,
I want to enjoy this.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to set aside a proper time. So we watched it. It's like we're doing film night, Saturday night. We're gonna have set the scene, candles on, lights off,
nice
snacks, like proper film night because I wanted to enjoy every moment.
Yeah.
And
this is what I did with my friend Chloe, the girl that I do take away in horrors with.
Yeah,
I saved it for night. It was me and her. this is going to be banging because it's always the same. We always bang up. We normally do 2 films, force your heads off. 2 films, takeaway, boom. So it's like start off with something a bit shit, bang this on afterwards.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it. You know, have something to eat. Bellies are full. Just chill out after that, and yeah, perfect.
Absolutely. But yeah, what a great film. Really enjoyed that.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. 'Cause I loved it.
Absolutely.
I knew
Me
you
too.
would.
Yeah, I really loved it. And it's probably, you know, it might be at the top of my list for this year, my favourite film that I've seen this year. I'll have to go back and look, but it's up there because I know straight away it's one that I'll go back to again and again and again.
And
it's a telltale sign of when I've seen a film and then I just want to rewatch it instantly.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's about it for today. We hope that you've learned who David Dastmalchian is, even though you probably already knew who he was.
Yeah.
You'll recognise him.
If you didn't and you still don't know, now Google him.
Yeah.
Because you will.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll recognise his face straight away. We've talked a lot of films there and all absolutely incredible films.
All bangers.
I was thinking, do we try and do a top 5 for David Dastmalchian films? And it's really difficult to quantify because of the amount he's in.
Yeah.
So do we do David Dastmalchian performances or films?
Yeah.
But either way, I was like, it's too much of a headache. It's going to cause me too much grief because it's too hard to choose. And there's so many of his that I haven't seen yet. I mean, I think in 2023 alone, he had about 6 films come out. He had Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I think I've talked about before, which is a Dracula one. He had The Boogeyman came out as well.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of films to try and keep up with. But yeah, watch any one of those films that we've talked about tonight and you will not be disappointed.
You will not, I promise
but
you.
definitely, if you can, try and watch Late Night with the Devil. It's on Shudder, which you can get on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, whatever you go for, if you go in Amazon Prime, you can get it through that.
Yeah, and you can sign up for a 7-day free trial and just cancel it. Totally worth it to watch this film.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's it for today. As always, make sure you follow us on all the socials. Megan will be very pleased. You know, we're on all those socials: Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok.
We're on the internets.
We're on the internets everywhere. And, you know, share with your friends.
Yeah,
share with your family. Share with people you don't like.
Yeah.
Just
share it with them more. They've got to listen to this.
Yeah, exactly. Just share it with everyone.
Everyone needs to know about Dave.
Yeah, everyone really does. Because we need to push this so this actually gets to him, so he will listen to it and then it will get him on the podcast.
Exactly.
Even if he does it on Teams,
he can call in.
He can call in. We're more than happy to accommodate for that.
Great to have a little chat with him.
Oh, it'll be unbelievable.
And that's that. But, you know, if you're going to do it, Dave, come on over, mate.
We'll put you up.
We'll put you up. Nice little countryside fucking village.
Yeah.
It's fine, mate. We'll go for some beers. We'll go for some...
Lincoln's
chills.
lovely.
Lincoln is lovely. Got a lovely cathedral.
Bring the family.
Yeah,
you know.
bring them all.
Yeah.
Put them all up.
Exactly. But yeah, thanks you for listening. And for once, Sam is going to leave us with some words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Sometimes it means going to the darkest places in life to be able to come out and share the light.
Beautiful. Peace.